Hi, my name is Carly, and I'm learning how to do short form video. So I am filming things for a YouTube channel that are just my life, just because I can. So they may or may not be interesting to you. This is vanilla bean flan. I was going through a little bit of a flan phase. It was quite good, and I'm gonna show you how I made it. You might be wondering, what credentials do you have to make flan for an audience? I have no credentials. I am literally just a human being who has eaten flan before. Okay, so we're starting with sugar. You have to make a caramel. It's just sugar and water, which sounds easy, but it's like surprisingly easy to mess up. The first time I made it, I did stir it too much and it caused the sides to crystallize, which I don't think ruined the final product, but like wasn't ideal. So now that the sugar is all wet, we have turned the heat up to medium high. So we're gonna let this brown for a second. And you kind of need to step away for a second, but you can't step away for too long or it will burn. Then you just turn on some hot water in a pot, because we're gonna need that to bake the flan in a water bath. I just love sugar. It's so cool. Watching that cook is so fun for me. And I do think about every single time how hot that is and how much it would hurt if you spilled it on yourself. So do be careful with hot sugar. This is like a nice heavy duty all clad stainless steel pot, so it's cooking really evenly, which is really nice. And I did choose to do this in the middle of my husband actually cooking dinner for like nourishment and our meal, and I just randomly wanted this. So okay, so you can see that it's like kind of starting to brown, and it is browning even, so I'm not stirring it because I want to keep the stirring minimal. When I was looking this up online, there was some debate about how much stirring to do, so I'm erring on the side of caution and not stirring all that much. And then it burns right away. It went from 0 to 100 so fast. As you can see, that is dark. I think it is pushing the limits of amber, but I think it is still amber. So I'm just hoping that that is not a bitter disaster. The aluminum pan is hot from having the hot sugar in it. So I was like, well, maybe I can shimmy it around so I can get some of the dark outer parts to go into the middle and mix it together a little bit, but that did not really work. So with a hope and a prayer, we're just going to keep going and hopefully it'll be fine. Okay, so now it's cooled and the sugar is rock solid inside of that pan. So I can flip it upside down, everything's fine. This could actually sit, I think, indefinitely. Well, probably not indefinitely, that might be a little dramatic, but this could sit for a long time. You could leave it till tomorrow, probably, and you could finish it then. Time to assemble the actual custard part. I'm putting my sweetened condensed milk and my evaporated milk in the blender first, because they're not going to whip as easily as the eggs will. So I'm gonna let that do its thing before introducing the eggs. As soon as the eggs are in there, it's gonna start whipping, and all of the bubbles, when you bake the custard, create like a textural sponginess, which I also learned the hard way the first time. So I'm trying it this way. Hopefully that'll work. I did put the eggs in off camera. For some reason I did not film that. There's a little salt, a little vanilla bean in there. Delicious. Just absolutely gorgeous, delicious. This recipe also had a little bit of cream cheese in it. Not all of them did, but this one did. Knocking the bubbles out, because again, the bubbles are bad for texture, and then I'm gonna spoon off the foam off of the top. Again, for texture. I want it to be like silky, smooth. And in retrospect, I didn't even skim enough of the bubbles off. I should have kept skimming more bubbles. Then you pour it through a strainer to get any of the chunks. Cream cheese sometimes doesn't integrate perfectly, so we want to make sure there's no like nasty chunks in there by pouring it through a fine mesh sieve. Now I'm continuing to spoon foam off, and I could have popped these bubbles with a toothpick. So if you are making this at home, the big bubbles can be popped with a toothpick. Okay, now you're putting this in the oven. Notice that there's no water in that big pan yet, because that's not safe to move big boiling water with your hands in a big like unbalanced thing. So you put the pan in the oven and then pour hot water in there, and then you tent it off. This is the King Arthur vanilla bean flan recipe. I tried to just use a grandma's recipe that I found online, because I find that grandmas usually make the best recipe, but because I haven't made this all that often, I don't have like that instinctual knowledge of how to do the things that are left out on the recipe, so I had to look up a more major one. And taking this off, unfortunately, that is totally overcooked. You can see when I jiggle it, it like jellos, and that's how you know it's set all the way through. So I pulled it out, and then it has to sit overnight, and it actually has to sit overnight in the fridge, which is really sad. So You just have to pack it away and forget about it for 12 plus hours. Very, very sad. Okay, it's the next day. It is cold. The flan is cold and set and ready to be taken out of its pan. I'm hopeful that it's not going to be disgustingly overdone. So I've warmed up some more water on the stove, and I'm going to put the flan back in the exact pan that it was steamed in to loosen up the sugar on the bottom. First, I'm taking a flat offset spatula and just loosening up the edges so that it can release, hopefully, and it's crumbling a little bit, which is another sign that it's a little overdone and not like silky and perfect. And when you pour that in, it just heats up the sugar on the bottom. I left it in this pan for probably 10 minutes. And then from there, you can invert it into a flan dish. Something with shorter sides than what I used would probably be better because it'd be easier to slice, but this is what I have because none of my dinner plates have a significant enough border to hold the caramel in, so this is what we're working with. Yeah, so now for the flip. And perfect. I could hear the suction. It plopped right out, so I knew that it had released, which is very... Moment of truth. Ah! It's beautiful. Okay, it is beautiful. There are some chunks in the top, which is like not ideal for a dessert, you know, to be chunky. It's not its most beautiful. But the color is really pretty. I can see all the vanilla bean flecks. And look at how much sugar is still in that pan. She's pretty. She's so pretty. Other than that part, but pretty much just so pretty. It is really satisfying to cut a flan. I think the fact that it slid so easy is another piece of evidence that it's probably a little bit over. There she is, glistening, gorgeous vanilla bean flan. The caramel was right on the edge of 2 done, which was actually awesome. That tasted really good. The inside had a great texture. Like the outside was a little overcooked, but the inside was like silky and delicious, and with the deep caramel it was really, really, really good. Was a huge fan. A huge flan. 8 out of 10. Need to work on my technique. Fun to make though, fun to film. Let me know what you think and if I should do more food videos. I feel so exposed. Okay, bye.